This program is a collaboration of personal opinions and individual free thought. It does not represent the views or narrative of the mainstream corporate media hacks. Viewer discretion is advised.
And here we go.
Live from the bell tower, taking a stand for your rights, your liberties, and all the bullshit in between. You're listening to Ring the Bell Podcast.
Happy Monday, ladies and gentlemen. Happy end of the world. The world is over. Can you feel it?
Yes.
Do you feel the world being over?
I do. I feel like there's been some kind of shift.
You felt it?
We've been hunkered down in this bunker for what, 24 hours
Yeah,
now?
I mean, it's been a while.
Yeah.
It's been a while. I mean, the solar eclipse came.
Yeah. We heard some rumbling.
CERN smashed
Yeah.
open, tore tears in the dimensions.
Yeah, I think
opened
there
up
was
portals.
Some hellhounds outside or something.
Yes. Massive earthquakes.
Yes. Yeah.
Lightning strikes. Typical end of the world shit.
Right.
It all happened, came and went, and the world is done. And
Yeah. We're here.
we're here to
Just
chat
for
about
you.
it. So, how did everybody's end of the world experience? How did your end of the world experience go?
Rather uneventful, actually.
Just you're like disappointed. You're like,
I was. I worked.
I did too.
I talked to my sister in Texas who was expecting something big to happen,
Oh yeah,
but nothing
but
happened
nothing really happened
No.
that we know of.
that we know of.
You
That's
started to say something.
Yes, there may have been.
And I
like,
cut you off. I'm
maybe
like,
like
no,
a-
save it for the show. Save it for the show.
maybe perhaps some kind of like Mandela effect we're not aware of yet.
Some
You know,
kind of
like
shift
shift in things that we're not aware
in
of.
reality or
Like,
in dimensions.
I mean, as long as we got the
But
basics.
would we know though? Would
Well,
we
we
know
wouldn't
if the
know.
world ended?
I don't think so. I mean,
Or would we
I'm
just
still married to my wife and
Oh.
have the same kids.
was she nice when you got home? Because if she was nice, something freaking
Well,
happened.
yeah, no, it was iffy. It was iffy, but I'm a Ravens fan. You're still a Cubs fan.
What the fuck? Get out. Go back to the
Well,
other
it
dimension.
hasn't shifted that way.
Not that far. Not that far yet. We've got Derek's here. It doesn't show him. It shows 0 viewers. But Derek says,
Oh.
I got some kick-ass pics of it. The perks of working outside. I was outside and I was like staring, like squinting at. I found out because I forgot to get glasses. My kids and my wife had glasses because they went to the park and watched it. Made an event of it. I was
Yeah.
working like you.
Right.
I forgot to get myself glasses, and I was like, "Let's see what it looks like," because you could tell it was kind of
Yeah.
hazy.
Yeah, like I said, it looked like I almost had like sunglasses on
Yeah,
without having
It's a little
sunglasses
haze.
on. Right.
We're
right.
not in the path of totality
right.
or whatever ominous phrase they called it. So it was just kind of like dimmer, just like a slightly dimmer feel. So I pulled a Donald Trump because I just wanted. I mean, I'm just gonna
I
glance
did
up.
too. I did too.
Just gonna glance up at it really quick and
Yeah, it
see
can't
if it
be
looks
that
any
bad.
different. And if you look up fast enough, just enough for it to burn your retinas, it did kind of burn
Yeah.
like a moon shape
Yeah.
into like you couldn't. If you stared at it, you couldn't tell because it was just like your
Right.
eyeballs were hurting. But just that quick glance, you could kind of like see the, when you get like the spots in your eyes.
Yeah,
and shit.
right,
Well,
right.
there's like a
It's
moon shaped
like,
spot.
yeah,
in my
I think
eye.
I saw
So,
something.
Yeah, so I think it was there. I think that was it.
Yeah.
Well, I was outside a like a hardware store. Menards, if you're in the Midwest. If you're anywhere else, nobody has a fucking clue
Yeah, it
what
doesn't
that is.
matter.
Outside a hardware store and doing the quick burn my retinas glance. And this lady must have felt bad for me because she walks by and she's like, "Here, you can have mine." So because once you look at it, it's like the biggest scam. Like if you bought those
Right.
glasses, the biggest scam. It's like you
Yeah.
buy, like a coworker of mine said he heard in other states, like a friend of his, I think in Cleveland or somewhere in Ohio, they were selling these glasses for $15.
I
And when you put these fucking things on, you look at it and it's like, oh, that is pretty cool. And
Back
you
to
look
work.
at it, it's like, look at it again. Oh, it's exactly the same. Here,
Yeah.
you want to use my glasses? Here, I don't fucking need them anymore. And so I put them on. Then I'm trying to give them away to anybody else.
Right.
I'm like, nah, we don't need. We already saw it, dude. You're way behind.
I know. Like 15 minutes before, you probably could have bought out the store and like scalped them in the parking lot for like $15
But
a
you
pair.
can't even give them away.
I know.
Like,
Well,
and it was still like as covered as it was going to be covered. But everybody's like, we looked for the 4 seconds. We don't need them now.
My wife and son were at a park and they found a pair just sitting on the ground, and so they picked them up and looked, and then I brought them home and said, I don't know what to do now. I said, well, hold on to them because there's another one in 20 years.
Yeah, you might need them. Derek says he had about 90.5% coverage. But what constitutes that 0.5%?
Yeah, I don't know.
When it comes to moon
that's probably
coverage.
the best 0.5%.
And only noticed about 10% reduction in light. Wow, that's that seems that's kind of depressing. It's like 90.5%. That means it's going to be 90.5% darkness. No, it's only 10% darkness. So he said he still had 6 pairs of glasses from 2017.
That's impressive. That's impressive.
JC is here. He says, "Oh my God, hi Derek." I'll let you two talk amongst yourselves. So that came, that went. I think we're still here.
I think so. Now, my coworker said he had friends that flew down from Washington State to Texas for a 5-day festival for the eclipse.
Dude, what kind of festival? What kind of satanic orgy ritual
I don't know,
is
but
this?
the bitch of it was cloudy.
Oh my God. That was another thing. The government's at work here because what was it all day yesterday?
Cloudy.
What was it all day the day before?
Cloudy.
What did it happen to be all day today?
Nice and sunny.
What are the odds?
Yeah, right?
I annoyed the shit out of my wife yesterday because I was like, it's fucking cloudy. I was like, it's going to suck if it's cloudy tomorrow during the eclipse. I mean, what's the point? Pull up my phone and it says it's supposed to be sunny all day. I was like, that's the goddamn government.
Yeah, right.
She's like, what are you talking about? I was like, they got their big ass fans out there. They're blowing the clouds away just so we can have they can
distract you.
She's like, what are you talking? I was like, those big ass windmills, those are actually fans to blow the clouds away for the eclipse. She's like, you're a fucking idiot. Yes, I know.
Yeah. While we were all invested in the eclipse, we sent another $1 trillion to Ukraine.
Oh, we Israel, Ukraine. We probably bombed some shit. We probably opened some portals. All those things. And we're going to talk about some of those things. Once we get into the show, this is still the pre-show. We're still just in utter disbelief about the end of the world right now.
Right? I know.
I titled this episode "The Worst End of the World Ever" because there's been so many ends of the world. This has got to be on the list of some of the worst.
Yeah.
We're going to get into all that when we get back from this intro video. We're going to talk about some of the weird stuff that's happened this week, kind of the signs of the end of the world leading up to this eclipse.
There was a lot.
And the stuff that might be coming after this eclipse. Yes. I mean, a lot of warning signs. We all should have been very afraid. We all still should be very afraid because it's over. It's just freaking over, guys. Make sure you check us out all over social media. The comment section's always open. You can find us on our little chatty group forum on Facebook, which is the Breaking the Bell forum, or you can hit up our handles at Break the Bell Pod on most of the social medias. So yeah, just let us know how your end of the world experience went because we want to know. We legitimately want to know how.
Did you have zombies in your part of the country?
Malaria,
killer bees.
I don't know.
Yeah.
So let us know. Share us far and wide all over the social medias. We're going to get right into this intro video. And when we come back, we're going to talk about the worst end of the world ever. We'll be back.
What did you say?
You talking to me?
What the heck are you talking about?
What did you say?
What did you say?
What did you say?
Are you talking to me?
Are you talking to me? Are you talking to me?
What are you talking about? What are you talking about?
What are you saying?
What did you say?
Are you talking to me?
Well, maybe he was talking to me.
What did you say?
Talk to me.
What in heaven's name are you talking about?
Talk to me, baby.
What did you just say?
What did you say?
You listen to me. Are you talking to me?
Are you talking to me?
What the hell hell are you talking about? Who are you talking to?
Well, just as they predicted, the solar eclipse came. The world has ended, as we mentioned.
Yep.
The bombs went off. The Earth's magnetic pole shifted. Earthquakes all over the world. The power went out. The comms went out. Everything failed. We're not actually here.
Cats and dogs living together.
Yes. Maybe, like you said, maybe we did enter another dimension.
It's possible.
We're somewhere else.
Yeah.
This isn't the reality we knew 8 hours ago. This is a new reality. This is post solar eclipse reality. The historic. Yeah, you see, even after this all happened, you see all the articles call this the historic solar eclipse. What was so historic about this, besides the fact that it will eventually be in history because it's just an event that happened?
The only thing that made it so historic was I've never seen so much press for
I
an
know.
event like this.
That was the most historic.
We had a billboard up the road from us that
a countdown.
Countdown.
An ominous countdown.
8
billboard.
days till the eclipse. I'm
8
like,
days.
what the hell is that?
Yes. And we talked about it. We did a
Yeah.
whole kind of
Yeah.
at least a half an episode. I don't remember on
Yeah.
on the eclipse and on like DHS
Yeah.
warning people to stock
Right.
up on
Yeah.
water and food and
Yeah.
extra comms and
National Guard
gasoline.
people out. And,
yes,
Yeah.
all kinds of shit. National emergencies declared, or not national, but like states of emergencies in certain counties.
Did you stock up on anything just in case?
I just have stocked up
I
on
know,
stuff.
yeah.
I just have things already. I'm like, it's not going to be bad enough to go through my normal stock. At least I hope.
Yeah.
If it is, I got bullets.
Right.
So yeah, definitely got bullets. I don't know. It just seemed like a very this like seemingly normal event known as an eclipse. It just kind of happened.
Yeah.
Like a normal event, and then it just moved on.
Yeah.
To prepare for the next solar eclipse, the next historic.
Well, you know, we have
solar
a
eclipse.
lunar eclipse tonight.
Tonight?
Yes.
How does?
Because the way that
Oh,
the moon goes.
I did not. How come nobody's talked about that?
I don't know. Apparently, it's not as cool.
I guess.
Yeah, we have a lunar eclipse.
Does that
tonight.
always happen the same night as
I
the solar
don't know.
eclipse? I would think so because it just comes
It would
circle
make
back
sense,
around.
right?
It's-
Yeah.
You think if the moon was blocking the sun from the world, then when it gets back around, the world would be blocking.
Right.
I don't know.
Yeah.
Who freaking knows?
Yeah. So we're not done yet. We got part 2, the eclipse part 2.
Maybe that's when it all happens.
It's possible.
Never
fingers
thought of
crossed.
that. Nobody ever gets excited about the lunar
I know,
eclipse.
and that's how they sucker punch you. Everyone's
Makes
looking at
sense.
the solar one. and
Everybody's
here comes
staring at the sun.
Yep. Here
Everybody's
comes the
looking
lunar.
at the moon.
Yep.
Now, this end of the world experience
Yes.
was far less exciting than even Y2K.
It was. Yeah.
It was maybe slightly less disappointing than 2012 because at least we had something
Yeah.
to stare at this time. In
Yeah.
2012, we had literally nothing. We didn't have a solar eclipse. We couldn't like stare and burn our retinas out.
Right. Right. Yeah.
But about the same amount happened, except the sky got a little dimmer.
Yeah. But it had its own movie
Oh, that is true.
Yeah.
There's no movies
for eclipse.
about Eclipse 2024 yet
Yeah.
that we know of.
Right.
So I don't know. I didn't hear of anything super crazy specific that happened. I
Yeah.
didn't hear any tales of down comm lines.
Well, my sister's keyboard on her messenger stopped working for a little bit. That's worse.
Now, was that because of the eclipse or was that because she had like some water on her fingers or something?
I would have to ask her that.
All
Beth,
right.
if you're watching, please clarify.
Yeah, exactly. Was this sun related
Yes.
or was this user error? Because there's a good chance it was operator error.
This is true. The romantic in me wants to say it was the end of the world.
Derek says the most important eclipse of your life, the same year as the most important election of your life.
That's not an accident.
He says when it started, he lost all cell service and the wind picked up and he was like, thank God it started. The world is finally almost over. Then I got a call from a potential spam number and almost cried. Oh, that's
So
how you know.
close. So close.
It sucks. We are right there, guys.
Yeah.
We're on the cusp of the end.
Yeah.
And then a spam caller called. Now,
That's how the world's gonna end.
Derek, you bring up a good point there, and you brought this up earlier. It's like people almost wanted something to happen, something bad, something different. Like, I don't know, you had said that like a lot of your friends were like, well, we want to shake things up a bit.
Yeah, they want to kind of get things kind of shaken up, kind of make something happen here.
But the fact of reality is you couldn't handle that kind of shakeup. Like if it was just like all the comms go down, it's like, oh, thank God. It's like,
remember the Draco?
Yeah, exactly.
How many people were willing to jump off a bridge because of that?
It's like, oh my God, the power has been out for like 3 days. You got power? Do I got power? Do I got power? No.
Yeah.
No, we don't have power. And no, I don't know when it's coming back on. Or do you remember when people were shutting their house, voluntarily shutting their houses for a fucking year because of COVID, and they'd be like, if this goes on much longer, I'm gonna go insane. Like I'm literally losing myself. Go fucking outside, dude.
Right.
I've been outside this whole time.
Yeah.
It's like people like that. It's like you couldn't handle a shakeup,
right? Like
an apocalyptic level shakeup, or even just like a small minor shakeup.
Yeah.
I don't know. We probably couldn't handle a major shakeup. Nobody should.
Yeah.
Like you see articles is like how to survive the end of the world. It's like, what the fuck are you talking about?
Yeah, right.
I don't have any intentions of surviving the end of the world. Yeah. It's called the end of the world for a reason.
Yeah.
But like I was saying, there was no, aside from Derek's cell phone going out for a few, I didn't hear too many tales of down comms. Yeah. No articles of overflowing hospitals. Remember, they had the hospitals on high alert. It's like, what are you expecting that all these people are going to the hospital for? Yeah. No riots in the street like you would think. Like normally, no looting and stuff. Normally during some big old event like this, some looting happens.
Right.
And I didn't hear of any looting.
No.
Lots and lots of buildup.
Someone got stabbed.
Somebody
in Waterloo.
Really?
Yeah.
Was it eclipse related?
Probably not.
Or is it just because it's freaking Waterloo?
Wrong place, wrong time. Yeah,
it's Waterloo. Somebody gets stabbed in Waterloo every freaking day. So much buildup though, and so little delivery.
Yeah.
Now, there were a lot of, like I was saying, weird kind of happenings leading up to this, building up to this, that would kind of be like people would call the end of the world.
Right.
And I want to discuss some of those things. Like, well, this has to be the signs are everywhere. They're always talking about the signs, the signs, especially like the Christian people. It's like the signs. This is a sign. That's a sign of the end of the world, the end of the age, whatever. Right. It's all a freaking sign. And you can literally translate anything to be a sign of the end of the age.
Right.
That's why I love like the Nostradamus who's that the blind lady with no eyeballs? Remember her from
I remember
10 some years ago?
Yeah.
She's like, it'd be like in 2024 there will be like I can't remember. It was like that like huge progress in technology. It's like that's not a prophecy. That's just things that happen every year.
Yeah. I remember. I remember in school. This is like I don't know, like 86. Watching the Nostradamus thing, right? Mm-hmm. And they're talking about some of his prophecies, and one of them was like the brothers falling, and they talked to attributing that to the Kennedys, right? And then 20 years later, after the Twin Towers,
to the Twin Towers,
exactly.
I remember saying that about the Twin Towers.
Yeah.
And Nostradamus predicting the Twin Towers, but it's like I thought you said that was the Kennedys.
Yeah.
It's like they just hide the most vague thing. It's like a fortune cookie.
Yeah, right.
It's like you will achieve great success in something in an obscure amount of time, and you're like, and then like 8 days later, it's like you win in a pinball game. You're like, oh my God, it was right.
Yeah,
the fortune cookie was right. I achieved great success in an undisclosed amount of time, and this is it. And then like a year later, I don't know, the freaking Cardinals go to the World Series and you win tickets. You're like, oh my God, that's what it was talking about. It's like I don't know. It's just always funny. But there are some signs.
Yes.
This sign I'm about to show you now, this is by far the most damning evidence that the world is coming to an end.
Okay.
Watch this video. Let me pull it up real quick. All right.
Oh,
Have you seen this?
yeah.
Yes. Yes, that is Dylan Mulvaney in his or her first music video that I've ever seen. I don't know if it's first ever. It's the
Yeah,
first
no.
one I've ever
Yeah.
experienced, and I wish I hadn't. And the song is called Days of Girlhood. So
Yeah.
we're gonna watch just a little bit of this because we'll probably get kicked off or whatever, copyright
Probably.
strikes. But watch this.
Are these all men?
What's that?
Are these all men? Or
I would assume.
okay.
No, they're women. It's called
Oh,
Girls of
yeah,
Girl
right,
Days
right.
of
My
Girlhood.
bad. My bad.
Now,
Yes.
do you want to shoot? Let's watch a little more.
Yeah, all right,
Then
go
we'll
ahead,
talk.
go ahead. All right, all right.
I can't do it anymore.
No,
I
please
can't.
turn it off. Please turn
I'm
it off.
done.
Yeah.
Now, first thing that comes to mind is that looks like some crackhead that would do anything for another score.
Yeah. Yeah.
Like anything. Reminds me of, do you remember the movie Anger Management with Adam Sandler and Jack Nicholson?
Oh yeah, yeah.
And reminds me of like an anorexic, or remember the dude prostitute?
Yeah.
One that's like, I do anything for love.
Yeah.
That's if that prostitute stayed on crack
Yeah.
for this, since that movie came out, what, 20 years ago, probably
Yeah,
25
yeah,
years
about
ago.
20 years.
That prostitute has been on crack for that amount of time, and this is what came of it.
Yeah.
Number 2, have you ever heard auto-tune that could not? Oh, they had no sound. Shit. We're gonna have to replay it. All right.
Only for you guys.
This is for you,
Damn
Derek.
it.
Derek, you shouldn't have said anything at all. I will fix that. Hang on. Oh, that would. Oh, there should be sound. How's there no
Is
sound?
his sound turned off?
Did they cut out our sound because we're not supposed to play the song, or?
Oh.
I don't know. I'll DM it to you, Derek, so you can hear it. Well, that's upsetting, guys. That's okay. You got to see it at least. Now, that's upsetting, guys. You're pulling up the video. My earbud is like falling apart. All right, trying to get my shit back together here. Derek threw me off. Now, have you ever heard auto-tune that couldn't make somebody like that? Was bad for even, you could tell it was full-blown auto-tune. Like every note was auto-tuned. That person cannot sing a note, and it still sounded that shitty.
Yeah.
It was worse than, you remember the It's Friday song?
Yes.
It was worse than that.
Yeah.
And not because it's Dylan Mulvaney.
Yeah.
Partially because it's Dylan Mulvaney. But yes, that what's her name? Jessica Black, was that her name? Something Black, I can't remember. She looks like a freaking superstar, like a pop star, compared to what's happening here. This is the most cliche bullshit.
Yeah.
This is
it
awful.
Sounds like a man singing. It doesn't sound like a woman singing.
This is a blatant sign of societal collapse.
Yes. Yes. Agreed.
Collapse of the music industry, obviously, because Dylan Mulvaney is going to win a VMA award for this shit.
A freaking Grammy.
Best female vocalist.
Yeah. And if you don't like it, then you're a transphobe.
Collapse of capitalism as we know it, because I think Bud Light made it perfectly clear that the market does not want this shit.
Yeah.
And they still keep shoving it in our face.
Have you heard the Beyonce country?
Yes, it's fucking bullshit. It's terrible.
I had seen.
I would listen to Beyonce's country song over this.
I had seen memes all day saying that if you don't like Beyonce's country, you're obviously a racist.
Obviously. And if you don't like this song, even if I hadn't even seen or even knew it was Dylan Mulvaney, if I just heard it in my ears, I would have been like, this is shit. This is pure garbage. And people would be like, oh, did you hear all this new song? Blah, blah, blah. It's great. And I'd be like, God, this is awful. And then I'd see that I was Dylan Mulvaney. I'd be like, that's shit. And then I'd be called.
Get used to it because you're a DJ and you're gonna have to play.
I'm not gonna play that. It is
weddings
on my.
proms.
I did have to play the Beyonce song last Friday.
See, it's coming.
I'm not gonna play the song. This is god awful. Now, again, collapse of capitalism as we know it, because the markets clearly spoke and said no. How much money did Bud Light lose over this?
Billions.
How much, did their stock drop? And they're like, let's just keep throwing Dylan all over all this stuff. And
eventually, she's gonna stick.
If capitalism still existed, it's dead now.
Yeah.
Society is. I mean, I don't want to get on like a freaking soapbox or whatever, but how many times do you hear that this stuff that's going on right here was the end of pretty much every civilization, society,
right?
Just like, they completely jumped the shark, and then shortly after, society collapsed. We've completely jumped the shark. Whatever, whoever thinks Dylan Mulvaney should be in a music video, we've lost. The world is coming to an end, guys. And this is sign number one. The writing's on the wall. It's coming to an end.
Yes.
I don't know what you think of that about that.
I don't know. I agree.
Is there anything you could get out of the video production? Can we say anything positive about this? The music production?
No, even the lyrics.
The lyrics.
Shit. Yeah, if they give the lyrics to a good singer, it would still suck.
Here, I'm gonna look up the lyrics because I almost called Derek Dylan. Derek did not hear them, so.
And wasn't there? I think at the end credits there was like 40 or 50 writers for that song.
Yeah, there was like 40 writers, and it's like 40 writers made this video. 40. It took 40 of you, to make this video.
Yeah.
That was awful. Let me pull up the lyrics. Dylan Mulvaney song lyrics. Days of Girlhood lyrics. Starts out, ah. That
was 5 writers.
Ring the alarms immediately. We have a code pink emergency. Calling women of all ages. Girls like me gotta learn the basics. Like how to be a girl.
Right.
Last look, quick change, sip champagne, playing catch up because we missed the pregame. Pull up the group chat. Where you at? Drop a pin. We're doing hot girl shit. Get in.
Wow.
The pre-chorus goes, Monday, can't get out of bed. Tuesday morning, pick up meds. Obviously.
What the fuck?
Obviously. Well, you saw like a cabinet full of meds.
Right.
Obviously, you need all kinds of meds. Wednesday, retail therapy, cash or credit. I say yes. Thursday, had a walk of shame. Friday night, nope. Weekends are for kissing friends. Friday night, I'll overspend. Saturday, we flirt for drinks. Playing wingman to our twinks. Sunday, the Twilight soundtrack. Cues my breakdown in the bath. That's just the pre-chorus. The chorus. These are the days. These are the days. These are the days of girlhood. These are the days. These are the days. These are the days of girlhood. Every day, every night, rise and shine. They're all mine. Thick or thin, I'll be all right. Got my dolls by my side. These are the days. These are the days. These are the days of girlhood. That's just the first verse, pre-chorus and chorus.
Wow.
There's more. I got to get to verse 2 because, we got to experience it.
Yeah.
Hot girls to the front of the line. Linked arms, no stress, because we're dressed up to the nines. Mini skirt sits below my hips. Dyed my hair blonde. I know you didn't. You put on a freaking crazy-ass wig. Pillow talk on my lips. Boys on the dance floor. It's finally clear. The patriarchy's over. You can hold our beer. Back at home, we replay the breakup, stay up all night, fall asleep in our makeup. The pre-chorus goes, Mom brought me into the world. Sister taught me how to girl. Best friend coached me how to text. The boy toy that I'm dating next. Girls who helped show me the way. They're why I'm an it girl today. These are the days.
Wow.
These are the days. These are the days of girlhood. Yeah, Derek, you can clip this, me reading this, and share it. I am fine with that. I am absolutely fine with that because it can't get much worse.
Do they have a Dylan Mulvaney like filter you can put on them?
Jesus Christ. What? I mean, eclipse, not eclipse, like Holocaust.
I'm praying for Holocaust right now.
Dylan Mulvaney's music video is the sign of the end of the age.
Yes, because you know that freaking song is going to be everywhere. It's going to be
hope
everywhere. It's going to be
on commercials.
Yep.
It's going to be on at women's sporting events because it might as well be at this point.
Oh yeah, right. Yeah. Your commercials, right?
Obviously, yes. Should we move on to the other signs?
Yeah, please do. This one's depressing.
So here's another sign that people pointed to as a sign of the end times. It was like 5 days ago, I think, that lightning struck the Statue of Liberty.
I heard about that.
Now, where did the actual article go is the real question. So lightning struck the Statue of Liberty, and obviously that means the world is now coming to an end. Oh my gosh, there's so many freaking... It keeps like auto changing the article. Hang on, let me pull it back up. So there's this picture this photographer took. Lightning striking the freaking torch.
Okay.
Did you see the picture of it?
I did not.
I mean, it looks pretty badass.
Yeah.
It looks pretty ominous. But I gotta say, I'm pretty sure lightning strikes the Statue of Liberty quite often.
Yeah,
I mean, it's a big fucking...
Right.
Like,
it's a giant lightning rod.
yeah. It's got like freaking gold on top of it.
Yeah.
So that's the thing I was saying, how everybody thinks everything is a sign of what is happening. Why can't I get this to open? Time out.
Okay.
You talk about Dylan, talk about lightning. I don't care what you talk about.
Yeah, no, it's true. And, you know, you saw besides that, you know, people talking about the eclipse and the way, like, you know, X's and then that's just across Illinois, and that's just fed by the earthquake that New Jersey had, you know, a couple days ago.
Right. Now, so here's the picture. Statue of Liberty. Like, 4 days before the eclipse. This is just a warning sign.
And was this right before the earthquake?
Yes. Yeah, this was like a couple days before a day or two before the earthquake. Striking image amidst chaos is what this is titled, I think. There's the image.
Okay.
Photographer happened to get that picture.
Looks like something out of Ghostbusters.
Yes. Now, it says New York City photographer, Jesus, get out of my way. New York City photographer Dan Martland captured a flash of lightning striking the Statue of Liberty on Wednesday. The lightning bolt appears to be emerging from the Lady Liberty's torch, making for an electric portrait. Nice pun. There's the full picture there.
Oh yeah, that's cool.
She's electric, it says. He posted the picture on Instagram and wrote, "She's electric. This afternoon passing storm didn't disappoint. The Statue of Liberty getting zapped by a bolt of lightning. My first strike of 2024. Just 2 days before a powerful earthquake shook the city." So this was 2 days later.
Okay.
And its surrounding areas. And a severe storm hit, bringing with it strong winds, torrential rain. There's another picture.
That one's cool too.
So his secret is he has a lightning sensor on his camera, the lightning strike sensor, so he can get those. It's not like he's just sitting there and just like, oh, got it.
Okay,
no, he has a lightning sensor on him. This is why I say lightning strikes the Statue of Liberty.
Yeah,
pretty regularly, because this isn't the first time he got a picture. There's another.
Okay. When was
last
that one?
year? That was last year. He got a
Okay.
picture of lightning striking the Statue of Liberty. So a sign in the end times. Maybe, most likely not. Maybe it's just, hey, that's a big freaking tall structure. There's a storm, and it's just naturally going to strike that. It's not. This isn't one of the signs, not nearly as much as Dylan Mulvaney's music video, obviously. Now, the earthquake.
Yeah.
The earthquake happened 2 days before this on, I don't remember the date, but it was a 4.8 earthquake.
Yeah.
So let's pull that one up.
Now,
4.8 earthquake.
Yes.
What date is it today? The eclipse? 4.8. Right?
Didn't even put that together.
You see the warning signs? They're everywhere.
Yep.
4.8 earthquake before the 4.8 solar eclipse. Is there a connection? And what could it mean?
What article is this?
This is from phillyburbs.com.
Okay.
Pretty legitimate source here. 20 years ago, the United Nations bigwigs largely ignored climatologist Jack Hall's warning about environmental concerns until his research proved true after an enormous superstorm developed, setting off natural disasters around the world. Among them, an earthquake followed by a solar eclipse, and then Manhattan wiped out by a flood. Okay, so that's the plot of a sci-fi disaster movie.
I was like, what the hell?
That's The Day After Tomorrow.
Right.
That warned in 2004 of dangers of climate change. But the coincidence of a 4.8 magnitude earthquake and the 4.8 solar eclipse has some people wondering if a big screen blockbuster has foreshadowed the future, much like episode of The Simpsons.
Time out. Okay, so the 4.8 on the Richter scale, that's a man-made scale. It's not like God's like, I'm going to send down a 4.8 earthquake.
Right? You don't think God follows those standards?
No, I don't think he does that. No.
It's like when they're like, this is obviously a sign because this biblical thing or this. Oh, yeah. I think it was the pyramids. I've seen posts where the pyramids are like whatever amount of kilometers, and that's the exact numbers of such and such stars. And they're like, they didn't even have kilometer measurements back then to make that coincidence happen. Like, they're like, they knew they had some ancient alien knowledge. It's like, because the aliens must have came down and said, no, you will work with kilometers.
We don't do feet in this.
Kilometers are what we go with.
Yeah.
And it's just like things like that. It's just like, that doesn't, it makes sense all the way up to the point where then you realize that the measurements we use today weren't measurements that they used back then.
Yeah.
So they must have been way ahead of time to do those calculations, not knowing that we were going to come up with kilometers 4,000 years in the future and make these connections. They're like, we don't know what these numbers mean, but somebody in the future will know when they come up with an accurate measuring system such as the kilometer, and then the Americans will bastardize it with feet, and it'll ruin everything.
Yep, as we do.
4.8 earthquake in New Jersey. Are you awake yet? 4.8. When is the eclipse? 4.8. Says Omar Redamar Serrano on his Facebook page Friday, shortly after the earthquake struck from its epicenter in Lebanon, New Jersey, not Lebanon.
Oh, okay.
Lebanon, New Jersey, just across the Delaware River in Hunterdon County. His post generated at least 75 comments and 84 shares as of Friday afternoon for Serrano, who describes himself as a longevity advocate and founder of CHOSEN Tribe, chosen but as an acronym, Tribe, or a community of hybrid online social economic networkers.
Oh, God.
And Master Builders Alliance from Newark, New Jersey. Rare earthquake hits Northeast U.S. 4.8 earthquake before a 4.8 solar eclipse. Is there a connection? What could it mean? Earthquake today, eclipse on Monday. We are ready for Jesus' return, posted a preacher who describes itself, or preacher of liquidchurch.com, which describes itself as a Bible-based and Christ-centered church. Don't they all describe themselves as a Bible-based, Christ-centered church? It shook the UN building. I think God is trying to tell the White House to leave Israel alone and stop threatening them.
Oh, God.
I didn't realize the White House was threatening Israel to begin with. First of all. Second of all, gross.
Yeah.
Really, really gross.
Yeah.
What does that have to do with the UN building? White House
because they want Israel to, do a ceasefire, and apparently that's not what God wants.
God
wants
wants us
violence. He wants blood.
Stop threatening Israel. Said, I hope those clowns are paying attention. God isn't playing. Also, it's been since the year 1884 a major earthquake hit New Jersey, and a 2.0 aftershock in Bedminster, New Jersey, wrote another commenter. Why that matters is because of this next line. Bedminster is the home of Donald Trump's golf club.
Oh my gosh.
Oh my God.
That's it. That's the connection. That's the missing link.
Now,
Wow.
is he trying to take out Trump, or is this a sign?
I think
Trump
it's
is-
confirming that Trump is the anointed one because his golf
It
club
is.
is from Bedminster, New Jersey.
Now, while we're on that topic, got another video to pull up. Hang on. I'm kind of jumping around out of order because things just naturally come up, and
yeah.
based on what you just said there, watch this video about the most significant event in human history. I hope you haven't seen this yet.
I have not.
Most important moment. You see the sun there. You see the sun. Most important moment in human history, it says. You see people staring up in their glasses through their eclipse glasses. Now it says it's taking place in 2024. I'm scared. Eclipse coming? Are you ready for this? Everybody's cheering through their solar glasses still. The eclipse keeps coming. Oh no, it's not.
Please tell me he didn't.
It's a silhouette of Donald Trump's head, and it says, "We will save America." Donald Trump did that. This video was posted as a Donald Trump campaign video on his Truth social media platform. This was his campaign video from his campaign team for today.
That's almost as bad as the Dylan Mulvaney video.
There you have it, the most significant event in human history.
Wow.
How full of yourself do you have to be?
Yeah. Wow.
Trump 2024.
That was bad.
I mean, today just gets better by the this whole week is just
And
fantastic.
here I was praying for zombies.
And we get Trump in 2024.
Yes.
What has this fucking world come to? See, Donald Trump.
That almost reminds me of when Obama was running for president, and they were talking about how he's going to turn back the seas and lower the climate of the earth.
Can we just go back to Bill Clinton playing the saxophone on the Late Show?
Yes, I
or
would
something?
take that. I would take that.
Or what? Where did he play the saxophone?
Arsenio Hall
there
show.
you
I
go.
watched
Yeah.
that episode.
Can we just go back to that? It's like, oh, this
Yeah.
just dumbass guy, but he's pretty good on he's good on the saxophone. Now we have Donald Trump comparing himself to the eclipse.
A cosmic event.
The most important event in human
waiting for him
history
to do an ad where 3 wise men go through the desert and come to a manger where he's sitting there as a baby.
Oh, Jesus. That's coming at Christmas time. Coming at Christmas. The world's coming to an end. Society has ended.
Oh,
I don't know.
And I'm not sure which side is better.
Back to that earthquake article. What are your thoughts on that? We didn't even get through the article. You just brought up Donald Trump and
I know.
being like the savior of the world. I was like, all right, we got to play that video now. We got to.
I mean, it was a 4.8 earthquake. They barely felt it, right?
Right. Some people there's a comment down here. Let's see if I can find it. No, there wasn't any earthquake, somebody said. It was road work being done. I don't believe anything the news says anymore. That's how big of an earthquake this was. As for any connection between the two rare natural phenomena, there is none, according to science. In March 1982, all 9 planets in our solar system nearly aligned with the sun related or relative to the Earth, and nothing happened. Says the short answer, it says Bucks County rattled a rumbling and rocking from East Coast earthquake. What was that? It goes on to say the short answer is no. Solar eclipses and behavior of celestial bodies do not cause earthquakes, said Alexandra Haydam, an earthquake geologist at the U.S. Geological Survey. Earthquakes on the East Coast are uncommon and tend to be infrequent and smaller than on the West Coast, he added. For anyone concerned about the 4 and 8 connection, relax. In numerology, the two numbers are considered compatible, at least as far as relationships go, according to the Enneagram Institute, which researches a model of human psyche that centers around 9 interconnected personality types. Well, what the fuck does that have to do with whether or not... Well, 4 and 8 are compatible according to the Enneagram, so... Right. Guys, we don't have to worry about the 4-8 here and the 4-8 here because they are perfectly compatible in relationships when it comes to numerology and the Enneagram. So we're good. Don't believe what these fucking quacks say about 4.8 and the 4-8 being interconnected and the solar eclipse and the earthquake being one and the same, but believe this Enneagram bullshit that I'm going to talk about now.
Yeah.
What? Why is that here? They're like, speaking of 4 and 8, let me just throw out some random fact I Googled. 4 and 8. Numerology. And they're like, oh, this sounds interesting. Let me copy and paste this in there.
Yeah.
Both types bring passion, intensity, energy, and deep, often unconscious feelings to all aspects of the relationship. They are attracted to each other's storminess, the other's vulnerability, and others' hidden qualities.
It's a fucking earthquake.
Neither is what they seem to be on the surface. That doesn't make me feel better about the situation. That makes me feel worse.
Yeah, right.
They're attracted to each other's storminess.
Yeah. Passionate, energetic. Sounds horrible.
Derek said it wasn't an earthquake. A barge just hit a bridge.
Although, did you hear that they did say that there was a barge that lost power in New York?
Another one?
Yeah. They thought it was going to hit the Verrazano Bridge, but they're
like, nah, just kidding.
They put down anchor and stopped. So
it's all a hoax, guys.
Yeah.
Now, I've seen some crazy theories about the bridge thing since we talked about it last. One being that China does have this technology that can remotely take over
tow
a bridge.
Technology?
Yeah, something like that. And they could have. It was some Chinese.
Yeah,
former Chinese intelligence dude. And he's like, yeah, they have that technology. Did they use it? I don't know, but they could do it.
Yeah, just
pretty much remote control any boat. Apparently, they did it at some dude's rich dude's yacht. 4 or 5 years ago, and he just spun around in the freaking big old, I don't know, sea that he was in. I don't even remember where he was, but he just drove in circles, and nobody could figure out why. Apparently, it was Chinese technology that did that.
They just wanted to prank a guy.
So, if the Chinese have that technology, guess who else probably has that technology? Our own government. Yeah. So, I don't know.
Yeah, right.
All that shit obviously means the end of the world.
Obviously.
Clearly.
Yes.
What else do we got? This one's probably going to be a little shorter.
Now, have you heard? I mean, it seems like the people most excited for the end of the world are the Christians.
Well, yeah, because they're being swept away from this bullshit.
Right.
It's only the Christians that believe that they'll be out of here before all of the hell breaks loose. There's a nice riff in the Christianity. It's like, no, I'm not gonna be.
I'm not a rapture guy. I'm not a rapture guy.
I don't know what I am.
Yeah.
I just feel like we really split hairs with the shit.
Sure.
And
did you see that meme that I sent you about wanting to buy 100 blow-up dolls and fill them with helium?
Let them off during the eclipse. I think I saw that during the last end of the world event that happened. I don't remember which one it was, but it was probably less exciting than this one.
Definitely.
Yes, that is true that they are the most excited, unless they are it's called pre-trib and post-trib.
Right.
hey, we're going to be swept away before all this bad
Yeah.
stuff happens. And the other one's like, why would you be so like, why would you think that would happen? We're going to be put
Right.
through this stuff. And
Right.
then us overcoming it is what's going to
Right.
blah, blah, blah.
Yeah.
Churches literally have split
Oh,
over that
absolutely.
one piece of theology.
Yes.
Like,
Families torn apart.
yeah, it's just like denominations have split and just or been excommunicated just over that alone. It's just like, don't you guys have other things like I
Right.
don't know, feeding the hungry and
Yeah, right.
all that stuff that Jesus told you to do,
Right. Instead of worrying how the world's gonna end.
right? But I don't know. Donald Trump plays a big part of it, obviously.
Obviously.
I don't know. I'm gonna get into break because I got some more fun stuff to talk about, but I can't throw it all at you at once because
all right.
we can only
You're
handle
2
so
for 2
much.
so far with the Trump eclipse and the Dylan Mulvaney
Yes.
girls time.
We can only
whatever.
handle. You know what the next one is because you're the one that sent it to me.
Yeah.
So
Yeah.
but we get to watch it together. We gotta ease people into all
Yes.
this crazy end of the world stuff because we don't want their minds to explode. We don't want chaos in the streets.
right.
We already experienced that once today.
That's true.
We don't need a second chaos in the
Don't go
streets
jumping
today.
off skyscrapers and
Right,
stuff.
not yet. Wait till after the show before you do that because we need the viewers. We're going to take a quick break, and when we come back, we're going to talk about more of the worst end of the world ever.
Mm.
So don't go anywhere. Go fill up your drinks because God knows you need them. We'll be back as soon as I find my button. We'll be back in just a minute.
Take a moment and remember the feeling. When they called you not essential. When they dictated what you could do, where you could go, how you could breathe. It's disgusting, isn't it? And they're trying to do it again. We've seen what happens when the people lose control. When politicians and unelected bureaucrats make the big decisions on our behalf, whether we like them or not. When the choices are taken away from us one by one. We've seen what happens when they strip away medical freedom. When they trample on informed consent. When they dismiss our cries of justice. They laughed at us. They called us names.
Rest in peace, Wheezy.
Them, their freedom. I want my freedom to live.
And they shamed us for not going along with their every demand. Enough already. It's time to hold these tyrants accountable. In the midst of them trying to do it again, this wasn't a public health measure. This was an act of war against a peaceful people. But a reckoning is coming, and we're leading the charge. This campaign is for all of us. I'm asking you to join this movement that's for every single person who felt the crushing weight of mandates, the sting of being called unessential, the pain of having your liberties stripped away. I'm Joshua Smith, and I'm running because you are essential, and because our freedoms are non-negotiable. Not last time, not this time, not ever again.
I recommend take the vaccines. I did it. It's good.
We faced the challenges. We felt the pain, but we're not defeated. Together we have the power to create a brighter future, one where liberty thrives and tyranny dies. I endorse prosecuting the COVID tyrants and using Guantanamo Bay to lock them away for their crimes against humanity. In the face of all of this happening again, where they think we're stupid enough to fall for it, in 2024, a vote for me is a vote for vengeance. Go to joshuasmith2024.com to find out how you can help.
We're back. We didn't get end of the world while we were gone. That we know of.
We
might have.
We may have. It's hard to tell.
So I'm hoping the audio plays. This is how you know the world is coming to an end.
As if it plays.
Like, I feel like humanity, at least American society, is more of a sign of the end of the world than the eclipse, than the earthquakes, the lightning strikes, all that stuff. I feel like just humanity is a sign that the world is on its way out. Like we've run our course.
Yeah.
At least the Western civilization has run its course.
Yes.
Try to get this to pull up.
I feel like they put the stupidest when they have to put the warning labels on things to remind people to not do the stupidest things.
Right.
And we've gone there, and people still do things.
Oh, we still, yeah. Yeah, and it only gets worse. Remember the Tide Pod challenge? Man, I wish we could go back to just Tide Pods when that's as bad as it was with the Tide Pods. All right, I'm going to pull this up. Hopefully you guys can hear it. Let me know if you can't, because I'm going to be sad. Let me get rid of this music. I'm going to have to refresh this because freaking Instagram Reels just auto play, and there's no way to like restart them. Let's see. All right, this is the view. When Whoopi Goldberg has to be the fucking voice of reason.
Right?
When Whoopi Goldberg is looking at you like you're a total dumbass, then you know we
have earthquake.
We have a problem,
and
we've got
cicadas,
the eclipse. We've got these earthquakes. We've got cicadas. We've got to acknowledge that climate change is real. No, first of all, she said cicadas. She doesn't even know it's cicadas.
Yeah.
So, but I read it in a book.
Yeah.
I read about the cicadas and then these earthquakes, and these only come around like every 17 years. No, that's not what I read. What did you read? Like, which Twitter account did you read that?
Yeah,
on?
Exactly. Yeah.
And the
TikTok.
solar eclipse and the earthquake.
Yeah.
Eclipses, they just know about it, and earthquakes aren't affected by climate change.
Oh, you mean it's
dumb bitch?
Carbon isn't creating the eclipse?
Freaking Whoopi is sitting there, and who's the redhead?
Joy.
Joy, yeah.
Yeah.
They're sitting there like, you're making us all look like fucking idiots.
I know.
All us people that have been pushing this climate change thing for so many years, you're just making us look like idiots. And when Whoopi has to be the voice of reason, you done fucked up, sweetheart.
Yeah.
Derek says, sweet, sweet static. Thank the Lord. I don't know what's fucking going on. It kind of upsets me. All right. Just so you know, Derek, whoever this woman is on The View was pointing out the fact that with these earthquakes, the cicadas and the solar eclipse is just warning signs of climate change. And Whoopi and Joy are just like, no, you stupid bitch.
Yeah.
I wish I was British.
Well, don't let that stop.
It's like, we've lost. Guys, we've lost. This is on one of the most publicly watched daytime television shows, I would say, amongst the liberals. And you have this woman And this, this is one of the people that are like, you got to trust the science.
She
and
must
trust...
be a special guest star because she's not showing up in their cast. Or maybe they took her off on purpose.
Yeah, maybe
get her out of there.
This is not a person. We don't connect. We don't like connect ourselves to her. But yeah, you could just see it on Whoopi's face that you've got to be kidding. Are you? Is this real? Is this really happening?
Yeah.
Like, was this scripted?
Yeah. Was
this whole thing scripted? Did they know she was going to say this, or is she just like shooting off the cuff here? Because Jesus.
Yeah. Yeah. No, I think she's trying to, seem like an intelligent.
She's like
reasonable.
She's the spokesperson for climate change.
Yes.
She is like a voice of knowledge when it comes to climate change because she read it in a book.
Yeah.
And Whoopi's like, or she's like, well, you might know a little more about it than me. And Whoopi's like, well, yeah. Clearly.
Obviously.
Just like, you're making us all look really dumb here. So that was, I'm really upset that the audio is not playing in these, but you get the gist of it. You get the point.
Yeah.
This woman's dumb.
Yeah.
She's just a dumb woman.
Yeah. But there are people out there that are seeing this shit and thinking that, yes, this is climate change in action, people. We need to do something about it.
Yeah,
right?
They're saying all this. Well, there's two, because there wasn't just the earthquake in New York. There was a huge ass earthquake in Taiwan,
right?
Which was probably the Chinese government,
right,
or the U.S. government. The U.S. government did it and then probably blamed China or something with their earthquake machines and stuff. See, I can do what she says. I read it in a book. I read it, guys. You might know more than me, a little more than me, but I did read that this was.
I also read about earthquake machines.
You did? Okay.
Yes.
So these things are happening, and people are. Well, you get on one side that these are the signs of like the apocalypse, the signs of the return of Jesus, the signs of whatever. And then on the other side, it's like, these are signs of climate change. Climate change is causing all these earthquakes. Climate change is causing the sun to get blocked out, guys. Even though we've known about it, we probably could have, we can calculate to the next like 1,000 years of eclipses.
They predicted that one back in 1979. I saw a news article said, hey, there's going to be
before climate change really, well, back then they thought it was going to be like a freeze.
Cooling,
Now, back then, Al Gore was saying that we're going to get an ice age.
Yeah.
Now it's global warming that's causing it. So, like, who do you... When this is, like, allowed, but us just saying, well, maybe, just maybe, this thing you're shooting into your arms...
Right.
You shouldn't do it until they've tested a little bit. You get banned off social media. You get banned off your YouTube platforms. Banned off. Then you got this dumbass that's on a freaking
nationally syndicated
international show saying this is a sign of climate change because of the earthquakes. And I read about the cicadas. But that's fine. We can allow this. Whoopi might tell her she's wrong, but they're not gonna.
That show's been on, I think, since what, 2007.
God, way too long, too freaking long,
much longer than it should be.
So let's keep this thing rolling. Let's talk about some more crazy stuff. Speaking of the eclipse and the weird timing kind of around what's going on, like right now. Did you hear that CERN was starting up their Hadron Collider?
I did. Yes.
Now, there's a theory out there that they were starting it up today, and they were going to obviously open up a portal to hell.
Yes.
I do find it fishy that they're like, hey, guys, we should... Like, all right, so coincidence, not coincidence. They didn't start today, just so you know.
Oh, okay.
There was stuff cycling that they were going to, but they actually started the preliminary test like last month, and then they started it up like probably 5-6 days ago, I think.
Okay.
Now there's always wild conspiracy theories around CERN, around the Large Hadron Collider, around all that stuff.
Into it.
Right. That's what I was gonna say. Why couldn't they start it up on April 10th?
Right.
If they don't want people saying that they're trying to open the portal to hell during the sacrificial solar eclipse, why not wait and just be like, guys, we're just going to put this on hold until after the eclipse. They're going to see that nothing happened. They're going to see us start this up, and they're not going to think anything. Because even the fact that they bumped it up, because I think they actually were the ones that announced back several months ago that we're going to start this up April 8th. And probably people were like, that's weird.
Yeah.
And then they're like, fine, we'll start it up April 5th. But there's still the conspiracy-minded people like myself that's like, well, maybe they start up on the 5th because it won't get to full capacity until the 8th. And then it'll just be like fully like blasting particles at each other and be like full strength. And then they can work out all the kinks and stuff and know that it's ready to go on April 8th. But if they would have waited until April 10th, nobody would have said shit.
Exactly.
They love this.
Oh, yeah.
They love the publicity of it. They love being the supervillains of the conspiracy world.
Yeah.
And it's either A, they play into it like, oh, this will get them. This will get them really crazy. Or B, it's real life. This is really what they're doing. They're doing this shit.
And they're just using it as cover to, make it seem like they're not taking it serious.
Derek says the world is really coming to an end. The DJ is having audio issues. Derek, I've never not had audio issues. I've never not had issues. That is my shtick, okay? I wouldn't be where I am today if it wasn't for all the issues that I continuously have. You guys would be disappointed if I didn't have issues.
It's true.
But yes, like I was saying. Well, so what do you think it is? Do you think they're just like, let's just see how crazy we can make people feel?
I think they like screwing with people.
No publicity is bad publicity, right?
Exactly.
They're like, man, if we get all the conspiracy, nobody else is talking about us. The scientists don't even care about us. So if we get the conspiracy people talking about us, at least somebody's talking about us.
I mean, you've seen their emblem, right? The 3 6s locked together. The crazy entrance to the facility that's got like these demon looking things. I mean, you don't do that unless you're
screwing with people or you're actually trying to open a portal to hell.
Yeah.
I mean, those are your only two options.
Yes.
Or both. You're like, we're going to open a portal to hell and screw with people at the same time.
Yes.
CERN to test the world's most powerful particle accelerator during April's solar eclipse to search for invisible matter that secretly powers the universe. Why do they need to find this stuff? Like, what are they going to gain by finding what powers the universe? Are they going to stop some catastrophe? Are they going to like literally how much risk goes into like what happens if that thing just like blows up?
Right.
Or they have like a freaking
do you lose Europe or is it just a little
I don't
smoke?
know, just Switzerland? I'm fine with just Switzerland. I'm fine with Europe, but if it gets past that,
then we have a problem.
We're gonna have problems. My page is there it goes. Now it's responding. The world's largest and most powerful particle accelerator is set to smash protons together on April 8th to search for invisible particles secretly powering our universe. Now, what this article is playing into the theories, but if you read kind of what they're not saying, because they're saying it's set to smash protons together April 8th. It's not saying they're going to start this thing up on April 8th.
Right.
It's just going to be smashing particles on it. It was also set to smash particles on April 7th, and it's going to be set to smash particles April 9th, 10th, 11th, and 12th. But they're playing into this as much as CERN plays into this. Like, it's set to smash protons together on April 8th to search for invisible particles secretly powering our universe. Theories have suggested that there are 17 different particle groups. God, stop. And the European Organization for Nuclear Research, also known as CERN, confirmed the existence of one using its Large Hadron Collider in 2012. Now the team has restarted the LHC. Now, right there. They found one in 2012.
Yeah.
Maybe that's what saved the world, or maybe the world ended then in 2012, and they just shifted the world in 2012.
Yes, the world ended in 2012. And
was it 2012 or was it 2016? I thought they ended in 2016,
I
though.
thought it was 2012.
I don't know. There's all kinds of weird shit around CERN. Scientists began preliminary testing by sending billions of protons around the LHC's ring of superconducting magnets to boost their energy and ensure the $4 billion machine was in working condition. And next month, CERN will shoot them down a 17-mile-long tunnel at nearly the speed of light to recreate conditions a second after the Big Bang.
When are they doing that?
They just said next month, so whenever this, probably on April 8th is what they're saying. Yeah, because this was March 28th.
Gotcha. Okay.
So there you have it. Goes on to say the LHC, Large Hadron Collider, will continue the experiment until later this year, when it will be then put under a long hibernation for CERN to transform it into the next version, the High Luminosity LHC, or HLLHC. So they're making a bigger and better one.
Cool.
The accelerator sits 300 feet underground at the border of France and Switzerland, and first went live on September 10th, 2008. The LHC works by smashing protons together to break them apart and discover the subatomic particles that exist inside them and how they interact. Scientists turn on the powerful machine this month, injecting it with several proton beams. CERN researchers use protons due to them being heavier particles. The weight allows blah, blah, blah. I don't give a shit. On March 8th, teams from around the world awaited inside the underground lab for a glimpse at the beams circling inside the ring of the LHC. The circular shape was designed as it allows for more time to accelerate the beam of particles so higher energy can be reached. But the first attempt this month did not go as planned after the beam only made it partially around. The full month's experiment proved the beam trajectory was off, and it did complete a full circle. After tinkering with the mechanics, the team watched in wonder as the beam circled the accelerator in less than 20 minutes. At full power, trillions of protons will race around the accelerator ring 11,245 times a second and travel just 7 miles per hour, less than the speed of light. On April 8th, the team will send the beams through the tunnel where they will collide, blah, 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 blah. So that's happening. The purpose is to let scientists test predictions of different particles physics. We're not going to get into all the science of that.
Yeah,
now,
I don't need that.
Now we know they're playing into, like, they're making it sound sciencey, but they very intentionally were like, they're going to do it on April 8th, guys.
Mm-hmm.
It's going to happen. But they're just doing it to smash particles. So obviously the conspiracy theorists go nuts and say what the conspiracy theorists say. So then the fact checkers have to come out and say this. No, CERN won't open a portal during the April 8th eclipse. That would be impossible, according to the fact checkers.
Oh, well, good.
So the fact checkers say it's impossible. You know, it's impossible. Derek says they're no doubt looking for some way to defeat the pending alien invasion. Only $4 billion. We could have built a much bigger one with all the COVID relief and gender studies money. It's true. I thought that too. I was like, $4 billion is not that much money.
I mean,
it is, but it's not.
Yeah. I mean, Ukraine gets more money than that in a week.
So USA Today says, no, they won't open a portal because that would be impossible.
Mm-hmm.
I'm glad they fact checked us on that. The claim is that CERN will start up April 8th to open a portal during the eclipse. An April 1st post shows a man telling viewers about his visit to European organizations.
Okay. Wait, April 1st.
April Fool's Day.
What happens April 1st?
April Fool's Day. This guy's lying. Shows a man telling viewers about his visit to the European Organization for Nuclear Research, or CERN, and what he thinks the organization will do on April 8th. They're going to open up and start using CERN and testing it the day of the eclipse. Here's what I think is going on. The powers that be, are opening up CERN in coordination with the eclipse to open up a gateway, a portal. The post was shared more than 1,000 times in 4 days. That's not very much at all.
No, it's not.
Our rating, false.
Way to be on it.
Yes. The post is wrong about both the timing and the nature of CERN's work. CERN's equipment began operating in March, a month before the eclipse, and the technology is nowhere near strong enough to open a portal or a black hole.
Yet.
Do you think they're going to fucking tell you if it's strong enough and powerful enough to open up a black hole? You think if they're like, we're going to rip a tear in the freaking the universe.
Yeah, fabric of reality, whatever.
Yes.
Yeah.
You think they're going to be like, yes, we do have the power to do that.
No. You're just going to see things disappearing in some weird creature, and then like, no, we don't know where that came from.
Right. CERN's collider was restarted in March after a winter break. On April 8th, people across 13 states will see a total eclipse when the moon passes directly between the Earth and Sun. But CERN's technology has nothing to do with that astronomical phenomenon. CERN uses the Large Hadron Collider to study matter, and is responsible for finding the Higgs boson particle, or God particle. God, why does this keep doing this? Scientists say finding helps explain the Big Bang Theory and how the universe was formed. Sophie Tesari, a spokesperson for CERN, told USA Today that there is no link between CERN, what CERN does, and the upcoming eclipse, because that's, of course, what she would say.
Right.
What we do at CERN is doing particle physics with accelerators, such as the Large Hadron Collider. And this has little to do with astrophysics in a direct way. Little. It has little to do. She
And
doesn't
not
say nothing to do with.
Exactly.
She says it has little to do with. And CERN couldn't create a portal even if it wanted to, says Dean Strajovic, a physics professor at the University in Buffalo. To create a black hole or a wormhole, even microscopic ones, with our current technology in the context of our standard theories of gravity, we need an accelerator as big as the whole universe. So there's no chance whatsoever to create a portal at the Large Hadron Collider. I'm glad he cleared that up for us.
Mm-hmm.
The claim is also wrong about the timing. It says each year after a brief winter stop, CERN restarts its accelerator complex and the collider. This year it will restart on March 8th, a full month before the eclipse. It says USA Today debunked other false claims, including assertions that the rockets NASA. Oh yeah, did you see NASA was shooting up 3 rockets?
If you're going to mention that
during this eclipse too,
Yeah.
like one before, one during, one after. They want to measure to see what kind of changes in the atmosphere will happen in such a short, like, brief moment of the sun going away and coming back. Do you know when they can do that? Literally every fucking night as soon as the sun goes away. Literally as soon as the sun goes away, they can shoot a rocket up and be like, oh, that's what happens when it gets dark.
But it's not as sexy if it's not during the eclipse.
So, and they want to test how events affect communications.
Yeah, which that was one of the things I heard about these 3 satellites being launched, is that they were like, oh, well, it could shut down communications.
Why would you think that, though? It never has in the past. We've had satellites in communication for at least 25, 30 years now, at least.
I think people are just expecting the world to go to shit.
But when they're like, even NASA's like, well, let's go see how much the world might go to shit because of this. It's like,
yeah.
What are you expecting?
Nobody of reason stands up and be like, oh, sir, don't you think today would be the wrong day to shoot that up because people might freak out?
Yeah.
Like, yeah, well, you know,
or
fuck
can we
'em.
not start the Hadron Collider till April 9th? It says USA Today has debunked another false eclipse claim, including assertions that the rockets of NASA that NASA will launch during the event are part of sex magic rituals. I never considered that.
I hadn't either.
But now I am. Since USA Today came out, I was like, no.
Sex magic
No, the rockets are not part of a sex magic ritual. Now I'm like, who was saying that, and why are you even acknowledging this thing? They're like, we're debunking this.
I want to be the person that asked the physics professor. So, sir, are they going to open up doorways to hell? What? And is this part of sex magic?
Now, when USA Today comes out and it's like, no, this is not part of. Guys, don't worry, this is not part of a sex.
And everybody else is here like
ritual.
Wait, I didn't even think about that.
Now that's all I'm thinking about. That the eclipse is manufactured and it will cause days of darkness. USA Today reached out to Facebook users who shared the post for comment, but did not receive a response immediately. Our fact check sources. Here you go. You got Sophie Tesori. You got CERN's probably website, CERN's about page, space.com, and this fact check that scientists at CERN are not opening a portal to hell. That's their sources. That's their fact check sources. So they didn't
actually ask anybody. They
asked
Googled.
Sophie Tesori, who works at CERN.
Yeah.
Then they went to CERN's website, and then they went to space.com, and they're like, Guys, we debunked this. Not happening. Thank you for supporting journalism. Your thoughts?
Yeah,
I have so many more questions.
Yeah, I was
now.
gonna say there's
so many more.
There were things in there that I never
didn't
crossed
even
my
consider.
mind.
Sex magic rituals.
Yes.
I didn't consider
manufactured eclipse.
Well, I would see that. I could see that.
Yeah,
I mean,
absolutely.
block it out with like a UFO or something.
Oh
Block
shit!
it
What
out.
if it wasn't the moon?
It probably wasn't the moon.
Damn, I didn't think about that.
Right. Now they could have blocked it out with the Death Star, obviously. There's so many options. It could have just been a holographic image. Maybe the sun wasn't there in the first place.
That's yeah. Now I did see someone say that this was obviously a sign that the Earth is flat.
How?
I don't know.
I've heard that, but I want to know how is that a sign?
I'm not sure.
Because how they explain an eclipse,
you would think that the Earth
that would
has
be
to
proof
yes.
that it wasn't. But I don't know. I don't get into that debate. I entertain it. Like I read into it. I read all the stories and stuff, but it'll drive you mad. I mainly show up for the comments. So, a couple more articles to get through, and then we're just going to see our way out of here because the world is over. Humanity's over. It's all over. So this one is called... Is this the one I sent you? No, that's not it. I don't know if I have the one pulled up that I sent you. Just want to talk a little bit briefly about the end of the world.
Just briefly.
Getting rid of all this shit real quick. So I sent you that article. Did you read through that about all the various theories and stuff?
I did, yes.
I'm going to see if it'll let me actually pull it up because it was I had to open it twice because it was like wanted me to pay for shit. And then let's see. Okay. And a bunch of my messages to you just disappeared. So it just says messages are missing. I think CERN's got us now. Let me pull this up on my phone if it'll let me. What are you looking for?
Well, I was looking up flat Earth stuff, but
don't.
No, I know.
Don't.
As soon as I saw the articles, I'm like,
There we
okay,
go.
I don't want to get into this right now.
It's the end of this is an opinion piece on Boston Globe. It's the end of the world as we know it. Do you feel fine? I don't know how many articles I saw that had that. And who sang that song?
REM.
Do you think they're like rolling in their grave
Yes.
over all the puns?
I think they hate it.
Their
now.
song gets made into.
They're like all the songs we made, and that's the one everyone brings up.
Yes. If it's the apocalypse, let us eat and drink, for tomorrow we die. A friend is reading Kim Stanley Robinson's eco-dystopian novel, The Ministry for the Future, in which the world starts falling apart in 2024. Published in 2000, the book opens with a brutal fictional heat wave. I like how they mentioned that it was fictional. Heat wave that kills 20 million people in India. Things spiral downward from there. That's pretty downward already. Which prompted me to wonder, of all the imagined dates at the end of the world as we know it, which are the most plausible? Robinson's own timeline for eco-catastrophic seems to have moved up. In his 2017 novel, New York 2140, sea levels have risen 50 feet in Manhattan below 46th Street, is called Super Venice. But that is more than 100 years in the future, and the Ministry for the Future doomsday is now. Maybe 2024 will prove to be the beginning of the end. A 16th century French astrologer Nostradamus, aka the seer of seers, supposedly foresaw that the dry earth will grow more parched and there will be great floods. Again, that's super vague. Right. In 2024. That dovetails with Robinson's take. Nostradamus likewise predicted that the King of the Isles will be driven out by force, which means that William, the Prince of Wales, better watch his back. Listen to a recent Colin McEnroe podcast. I learned that Star Trek's Deep Space Nine had deep misgivings about 2024. So now we're using Star Trek Deep Space Nine as a prediction for the end of the world. In an episode that aired in 1995, Trekonauts emerging from the Gamma Quadrant wormhole circa 2372 mistakenly teleported to 2024 San Francisco, where all is far from well. Europe is falling apart. In the city that columnist Herb Cain branded Baghdad by the Bay, technocrats lived in polished steel skyscrapers, while teeming hordes of homeless citizens have been herded into a sanctuary district that looks to be a smoldering powder keg. That sounds about like San Francisco.
Yeah, that sounds right.
The social problems they face seem too enormous to deal with, concludes Captain Benjamin Sisko, played by Avery Brooks. Easy for him to say, coming from the future and all. The 1960 movie Beyond the Time Barrier was equally bearish about 2024. A high-tech fighter plane inadvertently landed 60 years in the future, only to discover that a worldwide plague had transformed most Earthlings into sterile mutants. Now, that's just Western civilization is trying to turn...
We're close to that.
We're turning ourselves into sterile mutants. Should the wayward fighter pilot repopulate the planet with the mini-skirted trireme and so on? I suppose it's in questionable taste to make light of the impending end times, but if you can't make fun of Armageddon, you just aren't trying hard enough. That's what we do all the time.
All right.
We got through George Orwell's 1984, the Y2K panic at the turn of the century, and we survived 2 movies about Mayan apocalypse, 2012 and 2012 Doomsday. I didn't know they came out with 2 2012
I didn't know
movies.
either. I just knew the one.
To say nothing of August 23rd, 2013, the date that mad Russian monk Grigory Rasputin predicted that fire would destroy most life on land and Jesus would come back to earth to confront those in distress. Speaking of Jesus, how many raptures, second comings, and glory to save mankind have we lived through? At least a dozen, forecast by such latter-day Nostradamus as Jerry Falwell and Edgar C. Weisnant, author of 88 Reasons Why the Rapture Will Be in 1988. And its corrective sequel, The Final Shout, Rapture Report 1989.
Wow, you screw it up once, and
then
you
you're just pushing 1 year,
That's
just
wrong.
1 year out. I am taking the advice of Old Testament prophet Isaiah in 22:13, eating flesh and drinking wine. Let us eat and drink, for tomorrow we die. Or will it be the day after tomorrow? Well, soon enough anyway. Don't say we didn't try to warn you. It's just getting into the fact that like everything is a sign of the end, or the apocalypse, the end of humanity, the end of the world, the end of whatever. I think we're just getting shittier as we go.
We are.
I think we got a while to go yet before it's at the end, but it's not going to get better because we just get worse.
I think the United States will be long gone before the end of the world.
I do too. I think maybe the end of the Western civilization because we're destroying it ourselves for ourselves.
Yeah, at a rapid pace.
But man, humanity knows how to survive. Americans don't know how to survive.
No.
Westerners don't know how to survive, but humanity knows how to survive. I mean, you got tribes in Africa that have been living like jungle people for all of their existence, and they're fine.
Yeah.
No technology, no.
The Amish will be around.
The Amish will be carrying barns around and shit, making electric fireplaces.
Right.
Derek says, Trump, those Swiss have a superconducting super collider. We will have a much bigger one, a better one, the best one ever, a mega collider. We'll find all the particles. They will be ours. Yes. And that's when Trump will end the world as we know it.
Although I got to say, I know a lot of people that they're big homesteaders now.
It's becoming a bigger thing.
It is. So, maybe there's hope for people.
But the problem is, are they homesteading with technology or are they homesteading without technology? Because if they can't homestead with limited technology, then it's not going to do them a lick of good.
That's true.
They're going to find out really freaking quick that, without all, I don't know, like modern plowing technology, modern farming technology, I don't know, solar power, even the off-grid people with like solar power and stuff like that, that stuff all goes to hell if there's like an EMP or something like that.
Yeah.
The power, like all the power circuits get fried.
Yeah.
That only lasts so freaking long. I think humanity survives, but it's not going to be like we have now.
Right. Yeah. No, and it won't be pretty.
I feel like there's just a natural reset that like you see like these ancient civilizations, they talk about all these like technologies that they must have had and blah blah blah, and you see the laughing emojis because people don't think that's possible, and they're like, you're just a fucking idiot. I feel like they're probably there's a chance that humanity there's like a cap.
Yeah.
There's a cap on how far they can go before they just destroy themselves.
Yep.
And then it just totally Earth resets.
Yeah.
And then some people that survived it, they have children who have children who have children who don't remember technology, and you're like, I have this idea.
Yeah, right. Yeah.
A wheel.
Yeah.
And then they start over again. It's like, what if we could make something to move this wheel?
Right.
And then what if we had this combustion thing that like pushed this thing forward, and it just progressed and progressed? It's just like, dude, we have like these supercomputing technology and abilities and so, and then it gets to this point where it's just like we max out again.
Yeah. Reset
again and then start again. It's like, dude, I had this idea for this wheel.
Yeah. No, I agree. I feel the same way.
I forgot about the devil comet.
I was going to say something.
I didn't even read into. What do you know about the devil comet?
It comes around once every 74 years.
When's that showing up?
It showed up last week. I think it's still around.
Missed the devil comet?
It's still around.
Can you see it?
There was a time you could.
Why do they call it a devil's comet?
It has horns.
Oh, okay. Devil's comet. Solar eclipse taking a photo of devil's comet during the eclipse. I doubt it, dude. No, you didn't. Astrophotographer captures stunning image of devil's comet over Oregon. It's just a comet, guys. Just looks like a comet. Mother of Dragons devil comet is now visible from Earth. See, they name it shit like that so the conspiracy theorists go nuts.
Northern hemisphere of the comet is best viewed with binoculars or a small telescope right after the sun dips below the horizon.
No, it's too late now.
Look west, just beneath the moon and just right of Jupiter, an hour after sunset.
Okay, because I know where Jupiter is.
And the comet drops so low, it will be difficult to see without a perfectly clear view of the horizon.
Derek says the missing ninth planet that NASA says exists but hasn't found,
Pluto?
that shows up every 29,000. Pluto's gone.
No, I'm fighting for Pluto.
It's
Pluto's
gone.
still there.
It's not coming
Pluto
back.
is a planet.
Yeah, you're talking about Planet X or the return of the, what do they call them? The Nibiru or whatever.
Nibiru.
You haven't researched Planet X, dude.
I have not.
I can't even right now.
Planet X. Planet X is a thing.
There are theorists,
okay,
such as what Derek's bringing up, that there's this big ass planet out there.
Yeah.
That has this weird elliptical trajectory, like orbiting trajectory. It only comes around every 29,000 years. Every time it does it, it gets close enough that the poles of the Earth, the magnetic pole shifts. When that happens, it's really bad, and the Earth resets. There are other theorists that think on this planet are the people, or not the people, the beings that brought life to Earth in the first place, like our creators or whatever. Like a lot of the civilizations called gods are actually these beings on this planet X that comes around every 29,000 years. And I don't know, it's got to be close. Scientists haven't been able to see it yet, but the theory is that there's enough anomalies on some of the planet's orbits out there that they think something else has to be pulling on it, and that's literally all they have to go off of.
Okay,
I love this theory. You gotta read it.
All right, I'll check.
I love it so much, and I'm glad Derek brought it up. When is the missing ninth planet coming back, Derek? Because I want to know, and we got to know if the poles are going to shift, because it's going to be bad. That's when the reset happens, is when the poles shift.
I can see that.
Here. Last article, I promise. Then we're going to get out of here. 20 ways the world could end. We might as well end on a good note. We probably won't read all 20 of them because that's a lot. Are we in danger of being erased from the universe? Probably. Like every day we're in danger of being erased from the universe.
Absolutely.
Like it's just so miraculous or so lucky that our world is where it's sitting this far from the sun and nothing has bumped it off orbit yet. Nothing has bumped into it yet. So every day it's just like we're at a huge risk of being erased from the universe. It says here we look at the factors that could doom humanity: natural disasters, human triggered cataclysms, willful self-destruction, and greater forces directed against us. Derek says it's due any day now, but they'll never tell us about it. Yeah, I don't freaking care if it happens because we're all fucked if
Right.
it happens.
What are you gonna do? Jump to the next one?
We've had a good run. In the 500,000 years Homo sapiens has roamed the land. We've built cities, created complex languages, and sent robotic scouts to other planets, supposedly. It's difficult to imagine it all coming to an end, yet 99% of all species that ever lived have gone extinct, including every one of our 4 hominoid ancestors. Every species that existed but does not today has become extinct, just so you know. Just so you know, that's science.
I agree.
In 1983, British cosmologist Brandon Carter framed the doomsday argument, a statistical way to judge when we might join them. If humans were to survive a long time and spread through the galaxy, then the total number of people who will ever live might number in the trillions. By pure odds, it's unlikely that we would be among the very first 100% of all those people. Or turn their argument around. How likely is it that this generation will be the one unlucky one? Something like 1/5 of all people who have ever lived are alive today. That is kind of crazy to think about. The odds of being one of those people to witness doomsday are highest when there are large numbers of witnesses around. That's how odds work, guys.
Yeah.
That's how it works. So now it's such an improbable time. Human activity is severely disrupting almost all life on the planet, which surely doesn't help the matters. The current rate of extinction is, by some estimates, 10,000 times the average in the fossil record. At present, we may worry about snail darters and red squirrels in abstract terms, but the next statistic on the list could be us.
Dun, dun.
Especially since they're trying to keep us from having babies.
Yeah, right.
Natural disasters. So this the list starts.
Okay.
Asteroid impact. Once a disaster scenario gets the cheesy Hollywood treatment, it's hard to take it seriously. But there is no question that a cosmic interloper will hit the Earth, and we won't have to wait millions of years for it to happen. In 1908, a 200-foot wide comet fragment slammed into the atmosphere and exploded over Tunguska region in Siberia, Russia, with nearly 1,000 times the energy of an atomic bomb dropped on Hiroshima. Astronomers estimate similar-sized events occur every 1 to 3 centuries. Didn't know that.
Me neither.
Benny Pizer, an anthropologist, cum pessimist at Liverpool John Moores University in England, claims that impacts have repeatedly disrupted human civilization. As an example, he says one killed 10,000 people in the Chinese city of Qingyang in 1490.
Did not know that.
No. Many scientists question his interpretations. Impacts are most likely to occur over the ocean, and small ones that happen over land are most likely to affect unpopulated areas. Blah, 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 blah. So asteroids. Asteroid 5 miles wide could cause major extinctions, like the one that may have marked the end of the age of dinosaurs. For a real chill, look at the Kuiper Belt, a zone just beyond Neptune that contains roughly 100,000 ice balls more than 50 miles in diameter. The belt sends a steady rain of small comets earthward. If one of the big ones heads right for us, that would be it pretty much for all higher forms of life, even cockroaches. I don't believe it.
I think cockroaches
will survive.
Cockroaches and Twinkies. They're the big winners.
Yeah. And they're Number 2, gamma.
Wait. What do you think chance of asteroid taking us out?
Eventually, I mean, we spin around this thing with a bunch of other stuff for a long time, for hundreds of thousands, millions of years. Eventually, one's going to hit us. There's the chance. I mean, I'm surprised it hasn't taken us out already.
Yeah.
Gamma ray bursts. If you could watch the sky with gamma ray vision, you might think, what just happened? You might think you are being stalked by cosmic paparazzi. Once a day or so, you would see a bright flash appear, briefly outshine everything else, and then vanish. These gamma ray bursts, astrophysicists recently learned, originate in distant galaxies and are unfathomably powerful. I don't believe it. as much as 10 quadrillion times as energetic as the sun. The bursts probably result from merging or two collapsed stars before the cataclysmal event, such as a double star. Such a double star might almost completely be undetectable, so we'd likely have no advance notice if one is lurking nearby. Once the burst began, however, there would be no missing its fury. At a distance of 1,000 light years, farther than most of the stars you can see on a clear night, it would appear about as bright as the sun. Further than most of the stars you can see on a clear night. I thought stars were like millions of light years away.
I thought so too.
I don't believe this at all.
No, me neither.
Let's go to the next. Collapse of the vacuum. Now, this sounds made up.
Okay.
In the book Cat's Cradle, Kurt Vonnegut popularized the idea of Ice 9, a form of water that is far more stable than ordinary water, so it is solid at a room temperature. Unleash a bit of it, and suddenly all the water on Earth transforms to Ice 9 and freezes solid. Ice 9 was a satirical invention, but an abrupt, disastrous phase transition is a possibility. Very early in history of the universe, as we obviously know, according to a leading cosmologist model, empty space was full of energy. This state of affairs, called a false vacuum, was highly precarious. A new, now more stable kind of vacuum appeared, like Ice 9. It quickly took over. This transition unleashed tremendous amounts of energy and caused a brief runaway expansion of the cosmos. It's possible another even more stable kind of vacuum exists. However, as the universe expands and cools, tiny bubbles of this new kind of vacuum might appear and spread at nearly the speed of light. This sounds so fucking made up.
Yeah.
Like, how do they possibly know this?
Right.
You can't even explain to me what this vacuum is, but the possibility of a more stable one of these vacuums, and then that stable vacuum might be overtaken by another more stable vacuum, and that could be the end of us.
Yes. I agree. I think this is BS.
Says the laws of physics would change in their wake, and a blast of energy would dash everything to bits. It makes for a beautiful story. That doesn't sound beautiful, but it's not very likely, says Piet Hoot of the Institute of Advanced Studies in Princeton. He says he worries more about threats that scientists are more certain of, like rogue black holes, which sounds very made up too, but less made up than the rogue vacuum.
Yeah, right.
Now we get into rogue black holes. Our galaxy is full of black holes, collapsed stellar corpses just a dozen miles wide. How full? Tough question. After all, they're called black holes for a reason. Their gravity is so strong they swallow everything, even the light that might betray their presence. How do you know? Maybe it's just a dark area in the sky.
Right.
This David Bennett of Notre Dame in Indiana managed to spot two black holes recently. By the way, they distorted and amplified the light of ordinary, more distant stars. Bullshit. Based on such observations and even more on theoretical arguments, researchers guesstimate there are about 10 million black holes in the Milky Way. These objects orbit just like stars, meaning that it's not terribly likely that one is headed our way. But if a normal star were moving toward us, we would know. With a black hole, there's little warning. A few decades before a close encounter, at most, astronomers would observe a strange perturbation in the orbits of outer planets. As the effect grew larger, it would be possible to make increasingly precise estimates of the location and mass of the interloper. The black hole wouldn't have to come all that close to Earth to bring ruin. Just passing through the solar system would distort all the planet's orbits. Earth might get drawn into an elliptical path that would cause extreme climate swings, or it might be ejected from the solar system.
Oh, that sounds like a fun ride.
And go hurtling to a frigid fate in deep space. I mean, why not? Then it says giant solar flares, reversal of the Earth's magnetic field, which would
kind of talked
potentially
about
caused by Planet X.
Right.
Flood basalt volcanism. 1783.
Say a giant volcano eruption.
Laki volcano in Iceland erupted, spitting about 3 cubic miles of lava. Floods, ash, and fumes wiped out 9,000 people and 80% of the livestock. We understand. And that was just a baby's burp compared to what the Earth can actually do. 65 million years ago, as we know, a plume of hot rock from the mantle burst through the crust in what is now India, because we know that. Eruptions raged century after century, ultimately unleashing 250,000 cubic miles of lava. The Laki eruption 100,000 times over. So that's a possibility we got to worry about now.
And we got the super volcano in Yellowstone.
Right.
Right.
The last big pulse of flood basalt volcanism built the Columbia River Plateau about 17 million years ago.
Oh,
we're
nice.
ripe for another one. Global epidemics.
Been there, done that.
Been
got
there,
the
done
t-shirt.
that. We've been through all that. We survived it.
Do they have like man-made epidemics? Is that in there?
I'm sure. Yeah, it's human triggered disasters. Here we go.
Here
Global warming. The
no.
Earth is getting warmer. Scientists mostly agree that humans bear some blame. It's easy to see how global warming could flood cities and ruin harvests. More recently, Paul Epstein of Harvard Medical School had raised alarm that a balmier planet could also assist the spread of infectious diseases. Blah, blah, blah. Global warming. Biotech disasters. We've got ecosystem collapse. We've got
what's the ecosystem collapse?
Images of slaughtered elephants and burning rainforests capture people's attention, but the big problem, the overall loss of biodiversity.
Gotcha.
So we're just wiping out the ecosystem.
Wipe out everything else. Okay.
Yep.
I like
so once we wipe out certain critters, other critters start to die off. Other plants that they help pollinate start to die off. All this shit. I mean, just killing off all the bees would be an what is it called? Ecosystem disaster.
Yeah.
Biotech disaster. Yeah, like genetically modifying shit. Genetically modifying ourselves.
Yeah.
Genetically, like any of the stuff.
I'm rooting on that one. That's the one I think
gene therapy offers an elusive promise of fixing fundamental defects in our DNA. Then there are possible downsides. There's no evidence indicating genetically modified food are unsafe. Yeah, there's lots of it. You just won't let people like publish it. There are signs that genes from modified plants can leak out and find their way to other species. Fantastic. Engineer your crops might also foster insecticide resistance. Longtime skeptics like Jeremy Rifkin worry that the resulting super weeds and super pests. Great. Now we have black holes and See number 9. Particle. This is the best one. Particle accelerator mishap.
Yeah, I like that.
Which would not be possible because they don't have enough power to open black holes.
Yet.
But they can go really, really wrong, apparently. Theodore Kaczynski.
Your hero.
Absolutely. I'm glad they quoted Ted Kaczynski in this. Better known as the Unabomber, raved that a particle accelerator experiment could set off a chain reaction that would destroy the world. They thought that about the atomic bomb, too, and yet they still decided to go with it. Surprisingly, many sober-minded physicists have had the same thought. Did I say Ted Kaczynski wasn't sober-minded? Normally, their anxieties come up during private meetings amidst much scribbling on the backs of used envelopes. Recently, the question went public when London Sunday Times reported that relativistic heavy ion collider on Long Island, New York, might create a subatomic black hole that would slowly nibble away at our planet. Now, didn't USA Today just say that there's not enough energy in the world? They proved it wrong. It's impossible
after the size of the universe
to create a subatomic black hole.
Yes.
But for some reason, the Sunday Times thinks it is possible.
Yes.
Alternatively, it might create exotic bits of altered matter called stranglets that would obliterate whatever ordinary matter they met. To how do you pronounce that word? A sewage? I don't know. RIC's jittery neighbors, the lab director convened a panel that rejected both scenarios as pretty much impossible. Pretty much. Just for good measure, the panel also dismissed the possibility that the RHIC would trigger a phase transition in the cosmic vacuum energy. So now, not only can this possibly open a black hole, which they said was impossible, it could also possibly change our vacuum, which
see
Sounds
number
like bullshit
9.
anyway. These kinds of reassurances follow the tradition of the 1942 report, a once classified document that explained why the detonation of the first atomic bomb, this was what I was just telling you about, almost surely would not set the atmosphere on fire. It's a risk we were willing to take. The RHIC physicists did not, however, reject the fundamental possibility of disaster. They argued that their machine isn't nearly powerful enough to make a black hole or destabilize the vacuum. Oh, well, we can always build a bigger accelerator. Then there's nanotechnology disasters. See Michael Crichton books. Environmental toxins. Global war. So this is willful self-destruction. Global war, we're at that all the time.
I like that.
Robots take over.
that's
We're
a good one.
almost there. We're working on that.
Yeah, we're so close.
Mass insanity.
Oh, that's a new one.
While physical health has improved in most parts of the world over the past century, mental health is getting much worse. The WHO estimates 500 million people around the world suffer from psychological disorder. I agree. By 2020, depression will likely be the second leading cause of death and lost productivity. This was pre-2020. Little did they know what 2020 would do to depression. Increasing human lifespan may actually intensify the problem because people have more years to experience the loneliness and infirmity of old age. Americans over 65 are already disproportionately likely to commit suicide. It says, this guy, Gregory Stock, believes medical science will soon allow people to live to be 200 or older. Why?
Yeah.
Why do you want to do
Would
that?
not want to be 200 years old.
If such an extended lifespan becomes common, it will pose unfathomable social and psychological challenges. Perhaps 200 years of accumulated sensations will overload the human brain, leading it to a new kind of insanity or fostering the spread of doomsday cults determined to reclaim life's endpoint. Perhaps the current trends of depression and suicide among the elderly will continue. One possible solution, promoting a certain kind of mental well-being with psychoactive drugs such as Prozac, heads into uncharted waters. Researchers have no good data on the long-term effects of taking these medicines. Nobody knows how taking it for 200. Nobody knows how taking Prozac for 200 years will affect your mental stability. They know that it's really bad for your mental stability after a year, but they don't know how bad it is after 200 years. I don't know what's going on. My thing is going nuts. Derek says mankind, the extension, bring killer of more shit than asteroids, gamma ray bursts, volcanoes, solar flares, Boeing aircraft that have doors that just fall off, and planets with weird elliptical orbits. That is just some of the things we talk about on this show. I gotta get out of this article. My freaking computer's kind of going nuts. Hopefully it doesn't close our stream. It's probably gonna do it. My computer's running out of memory for some reason. Oh,
you there?
Hello? I think we're back.
We're back.
Let us know if we're back. So, we just read a lot of the doomsday stuff. What do you think's the most likely out of all that?
I mean, I
it's got to be the vacuum.
I'm not going to go with the vacuum. I think it's going to be a combination of things we're going to off ourselves.
Yeah, which combination you think?
Let's see. Well, I think we're going to devastate the planet.
We've already done that.
We're going to drop our birth rates back to unattainable levels.
We've pretty much already done that.
Yes, and probably poison ourselves, and then robots are going to wipe us out because we're stupid.
Hang on just a second. Hopefully people can hear us. Derek, can you hear us? Derek?
Are you there, Derek? Finally, the missing planet's going to finish us off.
Blink twice. You can hear us, Derek.
Oh, echo.
I don't know what's happening. Hang on.
Let's see. That sounds cool.
Well, hopefully.
Let's see here.
Let's kind of wrap this thing up. Derek's here. He says Nukes AI created nano beta. I don't know what nano beta is. Oh, I mean, you can hear us on there, so we've got to be here.
Correct.
We are here.
Yes. So what about you? What do you think are most likely path of destruction?
Well, like I said before, I think we're teetering naturally. I think we're teetering humanly.
Yes.
Like we're already before humans get involved. We're already sitting. If the universe is what all these crazy dumbass scientists tell us it is,
yeah,
and all these like black holes exist floating all over, all these asteroids exist floating all over. Not to mention the vacuum and blah blah blah, and the distance we are from the sun, and the exact orbit that we have here, and the exact composition of our atmosphere because of all those things combined. I mean, we're like teetering, like right there.
But we always have been.
Well, that's what I'm saying. Like at any point, something could just be like, boop, and that's it. We're done for.
Right.
Like one thing just kind of floats by us. Planet X comes by and shifts us just a bit, or freaking asteroid just kind of bumps us on one end and just kind of bumps us a little out of orbit.
Yeah.
I mean, that's it. But then you get man involved, where we're like, this whole thing is just so perfectly made. So, like, whether it's the Big Bang and just everything just kind of formed out of coincidence or God or whatever being put it here, it's just so like freaking perfect. And if you change one element of that, we're all screwed. Let's fuck around with it a little bit.
Right, exactly.
Let's just screw around with it.
Yeah.
And let's keep inventing ways to keep us around longer than naturally we should.
Right.
So we can fuck around with it a little more. And let's just, for no reason really whatsoever, besides to make corporate money, let's just like wipe out like massive areas of land and just farm the shit out of it. Because even though we don't need all that much food to feed the world 7 times over again, but we're gonna let people starve on the other side of the world, though. But that's
we can start making our own food with these chemicals, right? We don't really know what they'll do, but
we don't know the long-term effects. That's fine. It's fine. I don't know. Derek's back. He lost cell service, but he's here.
Oh,
and
that's
he's
good.
a minute and a half behind the string. That's fine. We're gonna be gone by the time you hear this anyway. It's gone longer than I thought because of that article. I think at the end of the day, we do it to ourselves. Absolutely, 100%, because we're intentionally just doing it. Do I think climate change is what scientists say it is? No, probably not. Do I think there's a chance we'll probably nuke ourselves? Most likely. That's probably the most likely scenario is we nuke ourselves to oblivion. Because if one nuke falls, all the nukes fall. For whatever reason. Like, I don't understand that mentality. It's like, you blow up one of our cities, we'll make sure the whole fucking earth is gone.
We'll let it burn.
We don't even care. We're gonna win this nuclear war, and we're gonna burn trying. Like they all know. They all know that one of them drops, all hell rains down on all of them, and they're all sitting there like, "We got nukes, bro. We got fucking nukes. The only reason we got nukes is because you got nukes." And they're like, America's like, "The only reason we got nukes is because you got. Just get rid of all the fucking nukes."
Right.
That's probably one of the first things that would wipe humanity out or the world out or whatever, is the fact that we just have all these nukes and everybody's sitting on these butts.
Yeah.
AI absolutely will wipe humanity out. There's no doubt in my mind. AI will wipe humanity out. Robots or AI or nanotechnology, they're all in the same thing. It's gonna if nukes don't wipe us out, the AI will take us out.
Yeah.
Okay, fine. Like,
Yeah.
I guess I don't know. Does AI does AI then continue to thrive for a long period of
I
time
don't
after
think so.
humans?
I don't think so. I think
Well, then it'd be the reset we were talking
yeah.
about.
I think it's gonna, it's something where, you've heard about the chips, from Elon Musk, putting in people's heads
Yeah.
and stuff. People are gonna be so melded in with technology, and then all of a sudden technology is gonna fail, whether it's like EMP or something.
Right.
It's gonna fail and it's gonna wipe out.
Right. We're getting too ambitious with our
We are.
technology.
We are.
So
Pull it
I
back, man.
feel like it all comes to a sudden grinding halt through some form of reset that
Mhm.
we probably brought on ourselves.
Yeah.
Most likely, but the world will keep going,
It will.
at least for a long
Yeah.
or whatever, and I'm not gonna be around to care whether the nanobots or
Yeah.
a human, like a cave dweller or something, or
Right.
like one of the African tribes that never even knew about technology,
Right.
if those keep the world going. I don't fucking care because I'm gone anyway.
Right,
Like, I
exactly.
don't sorry to my great-great-great-grandkids, I don't give a shit if you make it or not at that point. I just don't. I'm not here, I don't care.
Yeah, right.
Derek says, "Keep nuking ourselves in hopes the EMP takes out the AI nanobots."
Well,
That's
too
probably the most likely
clever.
scenario right there. It's like the robots, the AI, like, starts to overpower us, we nuke them, and we end up blowing us all everything up.
Yeah.
That's the bottom line. This is the end of the world. Let's
Yeah.
enjoy it.
Yep, exactly.
Hopefully what happened 8, 9 hours ago wasn't the end because it just wasn't very
It
thrilling. Wasn't
yeah.
exciting.
Gotta be more
There's
of
gotta
a
be something there. There's gotta be some fanfare,
Yeah.
something. We gotta have a party or something, like, who didn't
Yeah.
have that time to have a party?
Right,
I mean,
right. I
seriously.
mean, some people did.
That's all I got on the end of the world. You got anything else? We kind of beat this horse.
Just that
It's amazing how we can talk about literally
Yes.
nothing that happened for such a long period of time, and I was like, "This is gonna be short because nothing happened."
there are those that are saying that this is just the beginning of it, and the real end is coming in 40 days. May 19th.
Why? What's May 19th?
Well, it would be my 24th anniversary from when I started All Secure.
Alright.
No, it's, I don't know, something about 40 days, biblical thing.
Because it didn't happen today, they pushed back the bar again, is that
40
what you're
days,
saying?
yes,
Okay.
yeah.
Alright,
So,
I'll go with
May
it.
19th
I'll play
Yes.
along.
May 19th, if we're still here,
Then we'll push it back again,
right.
and we'll just patiently await our
So,
imminent demise.
yeah.
We gotta get out of here. This has been something. This has been more fun than the end of the world 10
It actually
hours
was.
ago. So,
Yeah.
thanks for everybody who chimed in and was listening and stuff. I mean, this is why we do this, so we can experience these lackluster things together and talk shit about the end of the world, because it's
Right.
one of my favorite things to talk
Oh,
shit
yeah,
about.
it's fun. There's so many different
Definitely
ways to go.
research Planet X. I'm
I will.
gonna blow up your phone
Okay.
tonight about Planet X stuff
Yeah,
because
it's new to me. I've never heard that before.
jeez, like, it's such an old theory, though.
Huh. Like, how old are you talking?
I don't know, but do it.
Okay.
Go research. We're gonna have to do, like, a special episode on the Planet X theory.
Okay.
We're gonna get out of here. Make sure you check us out all over the social medias. Share us far and wide before the nanobots take us down. You can find us at our handle at Break the Bell Pod. Make sure you come back here next Monday night. We should be there if the nanobots didn't take us out first. We will catch you next week. Have a great rest of your week.
Peace.
Goodbye.
The Break the Bell podcast is brought to you by you. So pat yourself on the back because without you, we would be talking to ourselves. A special thanks to our Patreon members, Justin Zielinski, Remzo Martinez, Stephanie Parker, and T.O. Jacobson. A shout out to our sponsors, Run Your Mouth Coffee, the On the Run podcast, and Goulash Media. If you'd like to help support us, visit patreon.com/breakthebell or buy our garbage at breakthebell.bigcartel.com. Get back here next week and let us continue to invade your ear holes. And as always, never stop talking.